Hello and welcome to Precious Memory Box's Junk Journaling. And I am back for the second half of my Kindness is Free Scrapbooking with Me Design Team project. And if you remember, we started using a piece of junk mail to create a wallet folio type item. And what we did last time is we got the paper on. Need to still glue that down a little bit better. And I just did a few decorative things, but today we're going to try to finish it up by adding some of the other items that are in the kit and a few extras that I have. And so the first thing I want to do is grab my glue stick here, or you can use any glue that you like. And I'm just going to re-glue this right here. I think maybe this glossy paper made it where it didn't want to stick. Now, I did not measure correctly when I did the sides of this, so I'm just going to grab, I've got some cardstock down here, and I'm just going to make a couple slivers and cover that up because I want to use this lace and trim it out, but I'm afraid if this bright colors will show through, so I want to get rid of those. Okay, so this is 5.5, just a little over 5.5, and about 1/2 inch. So let me cut 2 strips here. Okay, so let me think here. We need 1/2 inch. I'm going to make it 1 inch. Oh, well, we can do 2 1/2 inches. So 1/2 inch here. All right. And let me do another one. And then we'll figure out the length on those. There we go. And whatever's not right, we'll just trim as we go along. Okay, so we said we needed a little longer than 5.5. So here is our 5.5, and I'm going to go just a little bit longer. Hopefully that will be long enough. Let's take a look. Oh, looks good. That looks good. So we'll do that again. Sorry for the squeakies. I think I say this all the time, but everything in here seems to be squeaky. All right, and I'm going to use this glue here. It's a little heavier. And I can also use my little silicone. Oh, no. Okay. That was a definite blooper. Huh. Having that upside down, it just wanted to bubble out of there. Okay. Let me wipe that up. And let's see if maybe we can use our silicone brush here a little bit and get this glue on here. All right. Let me wipe off the excess off the paper again. And I'm just going to squish a little of that glue under there to help hold that down. And let's see if we can get this on here, and then we will just cut off any excess that is hanging over. All right. So I'm going to be really careful and watch my glue this time. There we go. And I'm going to use the silicone brush again. These really come in handy for spreading glue and stuff if you want to keep your hands from getting sticky. I don't know if they currently have them, but I'm pretty sure I got this at Scrapbooking with Me on their online shop. You may want to check and see if they have them. Like I said, and then you can let them dry, or you can rinse them off and you just peel off whatever you get on it, like paint or glue or whatever. Okay, I'll go ahead and put this side on. Oops. All right, wipe up that glue. We'll give that just a second to dry. I also grabbed, I have these frames in my stash, and I thought it might be nice as a focal point, maybe to put a couple different frames on here, either one large frame or a couple small frames, and then we can make a focal point behind them. So we could do something like this, which is pretty, or we can grab out this large one I have here. Oh, this is actually all one piece. Okay, well, that's pretty too, but I don't think I want all of it. Let's see if we can take it apart. Yeah, I think so. It's got a little sticky, so I think we could take it apart and have a single large frame. And I think I like that better than, because I think it pulls out the yellow of the other ones here, of the sunflowers. So we'll decide in a little bit what we want to make the focal point along with that frame. And I'll slide these back in here. Okay, so let me set those over there. And we'll set this one over here out of our way. Let me grab my scissors. And I'm going to wipe off my glue here real quick. And put the lid back on. There we go. Alright, so let's see. Where did I put the scissors? There they are. We're going to go ahead and trim this down. Okay. Oh, there we go. And let's see. Next, what we want to do is decide. I know I'm going to use this eyelet trim here because it's really pretty. But do we just want to do it on the front, or do we want to do it anywhere else? And I'm thinking just on the front. Okay. So let's see, I brought my Fabri-Tac. What did I do with it? Here it is. Let's use Fabri-Tac because it works better on material. And we're going to go ahead and put it down here. Okay. And then I'm going to turn it this way, a little easier to work with that way. And I'm just going to go ahead and press this down. Trying to line it up right at the edge of where we put the brown craft stock. Okay. If you want this to kind of stick down so it doesn't stick up, which I'm going to do, you can do, or if you want to leave it loose, you can also do that. Let me see if these are sharp enough to cut this. Yep, okay, good. Maybe that one part right there is quite thick. There we go. May have to come back later with a pair of more better scissors and trim off that little end. And let's go ahead and add that here. All right. And let's do this again. Hope everyone's having a great day. Hope it's sunny and warmer where you're at. I think we have, ours is about 50 or 60 today, so that'll be nice. Perfect weather when it gets up in the 60s and 70s. Okay. All right, let me set that trim aside over here. And we'll give that just a few minutes to set. I think that's beautiful. Let's see. I'm going to got a little extra glue here. And I'm going to take and just slide it in here and try to glue that down. Like I said, for some reason, I like glue sticks, but in our area of the country, they don't like to stick. They dry out. Okay, so we'll have that. We'll come up with, look through our papers and find a focal point, and we will put that on there. And then let's kind of just add some more decoration to the inside. So I'm just trying to use mostly pieces from the kit. So these are like tags or bookmarks, whatever you want to call them. And I added cardstock to the back of them. I'm going to go ahead and round the corners. I think things just look better when they're rounded. And they slide in and out of pockets easier. Got the little squirrel's head sneaking out right there. Peeking out. Oh my goodness. My words are not working today. And then I'm going to grab my crocodile and we'll go ahead and punch a couple holes in those. You can put eyelets in them if you want. I just wanted to poke holes, so if we want to add some pretty trim to them, we can do that. So that's the small one. Let's get the large one. And there we go. It doesn't completely poke out that hole. Let me see if I can do a little bit more this way. It's a little better. And I'm going to do a little bit this way. There we go. That's probably about as good as I'm going to get. I'm just going to snip off that little piece. All right. And I'll just cover that with a little brown ink. And that'll make that look a little better. Sometimes it's hard to get those little dots out of your crocodile where you've trimmed things up. Okay. We'll set that over here to the side. Since I'm wondering, although I made the hole bigger, so that may not work. Let's take, I was thinking about putting an eyelet in there, but I made the hole bigger, so the eyelets I have might not fit because of that. And I'm just going to take a dauber that I already have some ink on, and I'm just going to try to kind of get the circle if I can, and that way it won't be as noticeable that it's so white. Okay, let's see what we have in here. And I've got a pink that would definitely go. I've got a bright green, but I think that might be too green. How about a blue? So I'm just going to cut a little bit off of each of these. to decorate our tags with. All right. Doesn't take much. All right. Whoops, got that upside down. There we go. Okay, I think we're going to do the pink on this one. And I just like to fold them in half. And then I will pull the two ends up through the loop. But you can staple them on, you can tie them as a knot, you know, whatever your personal preference is. There we go. This one I'm not going to put a hole in it. I'm just going to leave it as it is. There we go. And that one's really long, but it's okay. All right, so we got a couple long tags. Then we also have all these short tags that I did the same thing with. And let's see. I sometimes take, but I'm out of staples at the moment, but I sometimes take a little bit of lace. Let's see what I got in here that we can use. Okay, now I got some lace in my box here. We got this lace also. Here it is. I knew I had a little bit. So usually sometimes what I like to do is just trim off a little lace, about like that, and then staple it on. But I think what we'll do this time is we'll glue it on. So we can glue it this way. And I think that looks good. So we'll just use a little Fabri-Tac here. Just going to put a little dab on there. Of course, I probably shouldn't be doing this on my project because we will have lots of glue on it. Let me do this. I am just making a mess. So let me move our project over here for a minute. There we go. And I'm just going to go ahead and glue this down here. And then I'm going to open it up and add another little dab. To help this side stay down. There we go. You put that on the front or the back, you know, whatever you like. So we'll let that dry for a few minutes. Set that over there. Okay, another thing you can do is I've got this pretty yellow. It's kind of a yellowish green. You can fold it over the top, kind of like that. So let's do that. Over the back here. I just want a little loop on the front. Needs just a little bit more. And I'm going to smear all that around so I can adhere down, and I'll leave that one lay like that. Okay, let's see. What else can we do here? We can grab our, this is like a lanyard punch. But I also call it like a ribbon punch. So I think you guys have seen me use this a few times. And just going to create a few. And I did also line the back of these with the cardstock. Let's do a few like that. And let's see, what do we want to use? Let's use some of the pink here that I have. I'm just going to cut some of that off. And I'm going to fold it in half. Okay, and again, you could staple this, but I'm just going to take and add a little glue to it. I want to see if I can untwist it. I kind of got it twisted. There we go, that's a little better. Bring a little bit more of that through. There we go. And let's see, let's add a little glue. Not going to put it all the way up to the top because I'm going to trim some of this one off. So I'm going to add some glue right there, let that dry, and then we'll trim the top of it off. Okay. And let's see. We can also do twine, but let's do a ribbon since we have that hole there. And this one I think I'm going to tie. So I'm just going to create a loop and tie it. All right, and so it's a little long, so I'm going to trim just a little bit of it. There we go. And you can also leave some of your tags plain, or you can do, if you have like some twine, which I have here, let's do that. We'll punch a hole with our crocodile again and just add some twine. Okay, let's get some twine. Just an easy way to add variety to your tags is to use the twine or, lace, ribbon, whatever you have. There we go. All right, we'll put that back over there out of our way. And I've also got a few more pockets that we can add. And one other thing I wanted to do to our tags here before we, let's trim this one now. It should be dry enough. There we go. Is I wanted to add some words, and in the kit there is a page of words. Here it is. There we go. So we'll just trim out a few of those. Okay, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 tags. So let's just find 6 words. And I'm just going to go up through here. Try to cut out 6 of those. I think I've got 5 here. And then we'll grab the Be Kind one. Okay. So let's go ahead and we'll cut them out real quick and add them to our tags. And then we'll be ready to do some decorating. I'm going to use my tag puncher if it'll work here. Or corner rounder is what I mean. And put the corners back on these. Okay. So has anyone been using this kit? Have you been watching the other members of the design team? I know Miss E has used it. She's creating a journal and different, you know, tags and different things like that. So let us know what you're doing so that we can see your artwork too. Post it in the group or a Scrapbooking with Me group, their Facebook group. We would love to see it. Next month we're going to be doing March Madness. I think that's what it's called. And Mass Make, March Mass Make. I don't know where I got March Madness. I guess that's a baseball thing, or not baseball, basketball thing. But we're going to be doing some mass makes. So I hope you'll come and watch all the team's videos and create along with us. I have an idea for a folio that I want to create for that. Out of the Timeless Teal, or let's see, what's it called? Miss E's Timeless and Teal, I believe is what it's called. We'll be using that kit. It has 102 pages for $1.99, and that is through tomorrow, I believe, for $1.99. And after that, that special will be gone. It'll go back to its regular price. So go grab that kit because that's a great value for that price. Okay, let's decide which one of these we want to go where. So, and I feel like I need to because they want to blend in there. Let me move these for a minute. I feel like I need to ink these a little bit. Let's grab Vintage Photo here. Let's see, it's pink. There's my brown. Okay. And let's try to ink these a little bit if we can. I think it'll help them stand out a little bit on the tags. Okay. There we go. They're just a little bit large for our tag, so let me trim it down a little bit and then I'll have to just slightly re-ink it again. All right. Don't be afraid to adjust or trim your items so they'll fit. Let's see, and this glue bottle's not supposed to clog up, but it does once in a while. I don't think I have any glue bottle that doesn't clog. I think they all clog. Trying to find the thinnest needle here I can. Unclog this real quick. Okay. So yes, I'm going to be using the Mrs. E's Timeless and Till kit for one of my projects to create a file folder project. Okay, today is having trouble with glue day. So let me try here one more thing. If not, we'll grab the glue stick. Oh, there we go. Maybe this will work. There we go. That should work. Sometimes it's hard to get those needles back in those bottles. There we go. So I hope you guys will come back and watch that. That will be on my channel in March. There we go. All right, let's see. What else do we want to put on? And we don't have to put them on every tag, but I cut out enough that we can if we want to. All right. This one I think I'm going to leave like it is. And this one, I think I'm going to leave those two blank. And then these, we will trim them up just slightly so that we can use them on our tags. Don't be afraid to, use any embellishments you have, buttons, bling if you have bling. Just anything that you like to use. If you like to use what do they call those? The perfect pearls. Just get out your stash and use your colors. All right, there's one. And I'm going to cut down the Be Kind just a little bit. All right. I'll glue that one on. There we go. Oh, I forgot to ink that one, but it's okay. Sorry for my chair squeaking, guys. I tell you, seems like no matter what I do, it's either the table rocking or the chair squeaking. I try to move as little as possible, but it's hard sometimes, so I apologize. I'll have to bring a different chair in here next time. All right, and there is Dream. All right, let's grab our folio here, and let's see what else we want to do to the inside or the back cover. So we have a belly band here, which I like, and we've got a pocket here. I think I'd like to add another pocket down here. We'll just decide which one of these would be best. I'm leaning towards this one. But if we want to add a pop of color, I think this might be a good one. And I'm going to just ink it a little bit to help it stand out. Hopefully I'm in camera. Move that up a little bit so you guys can see. Okay. And we're going to glue this pocket on. There we go. There we go. All right. So I think we've got the inside pretty good. We could add another belly band over here, but I think I'm going to leave it like it is. We could definitely add one of our words here, so maybe we'll do that. And these we don't have to cut down. There we go. And that one says inspired. Okay. Okay, let's see. Do we want to add a word or anything to here? That one's be kind. And we've got celebrate. Yeah, I don't want to make them so matchy-matchy, but I love all the pretty colors. So are you guys, like I just said, I don't like to make them totally matchy, but I like the colors in the kit to coordinate. Are you guys, are you team matchy-matchy? You like everything to match? Or are you more team eclectic where you like to just use, you know, a variety of what you see? Okay, so that will be the inside, and we'll come back in just a minute. Well, I guess we could do it. We'll do it in just a minute. That way, I'll try to do something on the back here. It won't interfere. So let me move that over there. This is our cover, and that's turning out well. And then, so we have to think about the way these will be on the back. So this one will actually be upside down. And let me glue this down here. So I think I'm going to leave that one blank and not put anything on it other than more glue. Okay. So this will be the front. So I'm trying to think, okay, this is the back. This is the front. Let me do this. Here we go. That's like an inside. So here's the cover and then the back. So if you flip it over that way, I guess it's right side up. That's not too bad. Let's go ahead and add this pocket. I love all the spring colors. I'm excited for spring to get here. I need to clean my mat. I think I'm getting a bunch of glue on it because I'm a messy gluer. Okay, so let's go ahead and I'm going to add this here. Look at the little deer down there. That's so sweet. All right, and then I want to put something here. So we'll put this pocket here. This will all look really nice. Okay, go ahead and add some glue here. There we go. Okay, let's decide, before we stick all our tags in, let's decide what we want to put on the front under our picture frame that we have here. So I can get a hold of that. Let's look through our papers, see if there's, I don't know, a little creature we want, a little critter, or if we want to do a large flower. So this one kind of has purple and yellow in the page, so I'm not exactly drawn to that one. I kind of like this little box with the I think it's lavender. Oh, what do you guys think? I think that would be perfect. Now, I just need to see if I have a pencil here. And I'm going to have his little face in there. So let me just line this up, but I want to have some of the purple flowers. So I think I'm going to go right there, and I'm just going to ever so lightly trace this. Okay. But then I'm going to cut wider around it because we definitely have room to cut. You know, we need to have more space around it. So I'm going to leave a little bit of an edge around it. And we'll make sure it fits within our frame. It doesn't need to be perfect because your frame will cover up the edges there. Okay, let's see what we think again. Oh, that's perfect. I'll do it more over here in the center, but I think that's really cute. Okay, let's see if we can. Trying to decide if I need to glue this to the picture frame or if it would be easier to I think I'll glue this down and then maybe glue our picture frame on top of it. Okay, so right about there. And I'm going to put a little bit of glue on it first to hold it in place. Okay. I'll let it shift a little bit. Hopefully it'll be okay. And then I'll turn it around here. All right. I don't think I'm going to put a closure on this because it lays nice and flat, so it really doesn't need a closure. There we go. Okay, so I think what I'll do is put the glue around the outside of this and then try to add the frame to that. A little bit of that off there. All right. Let's see if this will work. There we go. Then we just press it down all around. Enough to hold it, and then I'll use some more glue to maybe press the rest of this down. All right. Trying to decide if I should use this glue or maybe a heavier glue. Maybe use our, this is the Line Co. Natural pH glue. It's a little heavier though, and I think it will hold better. So let me give that a moment. Give that a moment to dry, and then we will add some on the other side. Some other things you could do to your journal if you wanted. If you have a border punches, you could definitely use that to decorate some of your things. I've got a notch punch and corner rounder. You know, any type of punches that you have that you want to use to help. And of course, lace, ribbon, buttons, anything like that would certainly help. Okay, let's put a little bit of this over here. that squeezing out the side here. That's the only thing, you have to kind of hold this down for a minute because this frame is kind of raised. So, got some scraps in my hands there. All right, I'll come back later and glue that part down on the top. And there's the front of it. I love that little fox on there. That is so cute. And then on the inside, let's just see what we can do here. So we can add a tag there. Let's find all our pockets first. Tag here. That one goes perfectly there. And of course you can add more than one to your pockets. Fill them as full as you want to. We also need to, if you have like a journaling card or that, but I'm going to go ahead and use one of my tags to add to your belly band. And let's see, let's go ahead and stick another one of these here. Let's do, hold on, we got a pocket on the back. So we'll put this one there, and let's take our little long tags, bookmarks if you want to call them, and we will slide those in here under our belly band for now. But if you had some, if you made some journaling cards or something like that, that would look really nice in there. But you've got plenty of room to put something long in there. So like if you wanted to put a picture in there, you could definitely do that. And then we'll close it. It's going to have a little bulk, but it'll still stay closed. We might have to, that one tag is with the ribbon is keeping it open. And then we can put this one here. Let's do this. This is a flatter. Let me take this one that's not as flat. And we will put those in there. They'll lay a little better. And then we'll put this one out here in the back pocket. So there you go. I'm going to glue that down. I was going to wait, but it's driving me a little bonkers. So let's glue it down now. All right, so there you go. We've got our journal done here, our little wallet folio. Now, if you want to take papers from the kit and create a little folio that you could slide in here, or you could create a little notepad, slide it over the top over here and do that. That would be really cute. But I just love seeing all the pretties. And I'll find some more things to add to the pockets. And I think it turned out really well. A great way to use up junk mail, keep it out of the landfill, and it's already created for you, so you don't have to like cut it out and, you know, glue all the pieces together and do all the measurements to figure out your base. It's already ready for you. So thank you so much for joining me. I hope you will hop over to Scrapbooking with me, and you can pick up this kit as well as the one for March. And let me show you, I think I've got the, yeah, here it is. Mass Make March for the month of March. And the hashtag for that is SWME Mass Make March 26th. So if you want to add that to your project when you make it, and that way we can find it. And you can also search on YouTube and like Instagram and that, and find anything that's been created under that hashtag. So thank you so much for joining me. Don't forget, if you go to the shop, you can use my code Bobby20 and get 20% off your purchases. There are some restrictions that apply, but go ahead and use that code and hope it will, you know, bring you a little discount for things you want. Thank you so much for joining me, and have a great day. Bye.